It's that time. Straddling the line between fall and winter sits All Hallows Eve, a lovely tradition spanning over 2,000 years where people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off roaming ghosts. Halloween is a time of celebration and superstition. You don't get Teejhero tonight. Instead, you get me to share with you a little video game fright. We are going to be playing the Sega Genesis with a lovely little slasher beat-em-up called Splatterhouse 3. From worst to best, Splatterhouse 3 bosses. The game has a vast array of ghouls and monsters that battle the protagonist Rick, who, with the help of the terror mask enhancing his strength, races against time in his giant house to save his wife and child. Rick can brutally punch, bash, slash, and pile-drive enemies into a gory oblivion. Be wary, the horrifying theme of this game may be inappropriate for young children. And cowards. So we're going to play through this game, battle all the bosses, and rank them from worst to best. Before we begin, I'll explain how the bosses are ranked. Number 1, the battle itself, how it plays and its strategies. Number 2, how does the battle affect the main character at the time of the fight. Number 3, the lore behind the boss, and number 4, the boss's design and settings. Unfortunately, while Splatterhouse has some of the most delightfully obscure villains, they don't actually have a ton of backstory information, but that won't stop me from judging their souls. Big Monster. The very first boss in the game actually stops Rick from reaching the giant boar worm that is on his way to murder Jennifer, Rick's wife. This is the creature the game developers decided to place on the cover art, so he does have a somewhat iconic look. Rick, with the power of the terror mask, is more than a match for him. This monster likes to run away from Rick and blast projectile vomit. He is more of a nuisance than a warrior. After you smack him around a bit, his head slides off into a pile of goo. The monster is able to launch a powerful forward strike with an arm made of guts that is actually pretty strong if you aren't ready for it. Rick's best strategy is to maneuver towards him for grab attacks and to avoid getting knocked back. Being the final chapter of the trilogy, this isn't Rick's first encounter with monsters, so his experience is enough to turn this beast into a green puddle. I found a dead bird in my studio. What is this shit? Monster Fetus. How cute, a monster fetus. Rick finds this creature as the 4th boss in his basement. Could you imagine going downstairs and finding this gross floating sack in your basement? I'm the devil himself and find that disgusting. Basically, a pissed off Rick needs to pummel this embryonic sack until it bursts, unleashing a bizarre brain centipede thing. This battle is very much like the first boss, except he has a nasty habit of electrocuting the shit out of you like Blanca from Street Fighter 2 if you were too close. Once again, this monster is more of a nuisance than anything. His design isn't that great either, especially compared to some of the really creative monsters throughout the stages. He did get a bonus point for letting me have the opportunity for saying I destroyed a monster fetus out loud though. Don't know how often I can say that. Giant boar worm. You get to face off against the giant boar worm at the end of stage 2, which is really satisfying for Rick after being taunted by this creature that is attacked, or murdered depending on your timing, his wife. The creature has a really eerie laugh, but it may have been more frightening if it didn't have the design of a red cock with legs and teeth. Maybe with a better design it would have ranked a little bit higher. He likes to taunt Rick and send his little red worms to attack. After he gets hit enough, his head pops off to reveal either a ton of mini worms or something worse. Rick doesn't give a damn though and bashes him into a green puddle. The Evil One. After Rick gets past the 5th stage, he comes face to face with the Evil One. The Evil One is the force that has orchestrated all of the events of the game. Depending on how fast you beat certain levels, determines whether you save Jennifer and David. Regardless, Rick is greatly affected and furious when he faces this monster. He's quite different from the grotesque creatures in the game and almost looks like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen or Taboo from Brawl with humanoid look. The Evil One has quite a bit of powerful attacks that cause major knockback, so it is important to keep moving and to anticipate where he is headed. He also likes to warp around, so Rick's best strategy is to grapple him to either choke him out or headbutt him to pieces. The Mask. By the final level, Rick finds out the Evil One was just a red herring for the Mask to take over the world. The Mask morphs into a strange flesh monster to attack Rick. It must have found a way to duplicate itself through the Evil One's remains, because Rick is still wearing and reaping the benefits of the power of the mask. Once you smash the fleshy creature to pieces, you get to take on Jason X's head. The mask has some pretty deadly attacks that melt health away and send Rick flying. His afterimage attack actually tracks Rick. When you finally do beat him, it is quite satisfying, and he makes for a pretty fun final boss. I like the concept of having a powerful mask secretly pulling the strings, like in this gem of a game with Jorah's mask. The best. Teddy Bear and the Cannibal. After making his way through the terrifying corridors to his son David's room, excellent spot to put your kid's room by the way, Rick finds David weeping in fear. It turns out David is an illusion, and his giant stuffed teddy bear is the monster to fear. A very angry Rick pummels the hell out of it. After a seemingly one-sided fight, the teddy bear rips open to reveal the Cannibal, who lets out an ear-shattering Michael Jackson moonwalker sound bit. This bastard is pretty fast, and has some range to his attacks. This boss was awesome, and a great little twist to have in the game. And the fact that it made Rick fight one of his child's toys in his own bedroom makes it even better. And that's why it's the best. Now I mentioned time and speed a few times, and said that if you bust through the levels and bosses fast enough, you can actually save both Jennifer and David to have a happy ending. But guess what? I didn't. I let them die. And now that's how you have a happy Halloween. Be sure and go and watch this pitiful fool's other Halloween videos. Maybe you'll find something that you like. And be sure to check out the other From Worst to Best videos, especially the one on Castlevania, because it's spooky for this time of year. Also like and subscribe, and let me know if you'd like to see more of the Red Devil Gaming.